What's happening, people? Welcome back to the show. This is the Upper Tier podcast. It's a Shankly Sessions episode. We're going to have to talk about this whole Zubimendi situation and stuff that's coming out today and all kinds of stuff, and the fan base is going ballistic. But of course, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like in the video. You know we're getting close to the season starting when I'm back on the drive time episodes and all that kind of good stuff and all, when I'm trying to fit the content in. But tomorrow night we will be back, 8 o'clock, Pro Wrestling Weekly, of course. Big roundup of all your usual pro wrestling stuff. Thursday I'll be back with Darren, Premier League preview. We're going to be doing Premier League predictions with a panel as well. Going to have a lot of fun on that show. And then probably Friday I'll have an Ipswich preview for us, our first game of the season. Great to be back. I have to say, folks, this whole transfer window has just been jarring, and I'm not even talking about Liverpool, I just mean in general. It's just been horrible between the Euros and everything else that's been going on, and the lack of quality in the market as well is absolutely madness. And a lot of clubs like my own club Liverpool looking for, you know, just that sprinkling of key players and key positions to just make that difference and kick on from last season. But it's a real struggle at the moment, you know what I mean? And obviously the news came out last night that Zubimendi has rejected us and turned us down. The craziness then all kicked off in the fan base. Of course, I love Hussam, I love his content. You've seen his reaction, legendary stuff there. Lots of other people, we've seen Craig, obviously Anfield Agenda, and all these other big Liverpool channels and stuff like that kicking off. Coppish obviously devastated as well, Mad and Callan, the boys there as well. But I think sometimes you have to take a step back from this, you know what I mean? And there was a lot of FSG hate out there last night, and a lot of questioning of Hughes and Edwards and all that kind of stuff. And look, I get it, you know what I mean? And I understand if you're FSG out, I understand it, but I think on this situation here with Zubimendi, I think we put down the money. I think the money was there. There was a dual offering in terms of the money, both on a payment plan and also on the release clause. We presented a very big financial package to the player as well. He went off, he discussed it with his family. His family didn't want to move to Liverpool. The same as they didn't want to go to Bayern Munich. The same as they didn't want to go to Man United over 2 seasons. The same as they didn't want to go to Arsenal. And that's it. He wants to stay at Sociedad. That's his world. That's his life. That's where he grew up. That's everything else, and that's what he wants. And no matter how much money you put there, if they reject that, there's not a whole lot you can do. And I'm sure Richard Hughes today is absolutely devastated that it went the way it went, because obviously if it had went the right way, we would have been extremely happy, because we would have achieved what those other clubs weren't able to achieve by getting Zubimendi out of Real Sociedad. Now, the flip side of that, where we have to try and take a positive out of everything and stuff, you know. And I try and do this all the time, because I'm 45 years now following Liverpool Football Club. Followed Liverpool Football Club since the age of 7. I'm 52 now. So you always have to try and find a positivity. I waited 30 years for Premier League, all that other good stuff. But you have to kind of look at it and go, if this was the guy's mindset, if this was the lad's mindset, you know, we've probably dodged a bullet there as well, because what happens if we sign him up to a 5-year contract with an extra year option and all the bells and whistles and stuff like that, and all of a sudden this guy gets homesick and he wants out of there, and he's at home every day, and his missus is giving him an earful, his kids are saying they're not settling, they don't like it, and all these various different things, you know what I mean? And then he's coming in, he's getting it at home, he's trying to come in and focus and train and fit into it, a new culture, a new team, a new city, new surroundings, a much greater expectation as well. And I think it's really, really important that we take that on board as well, and we go, well, you know something, maybe it went the right way for us in the end. And listen, we know we're all screaming for a 6. We know we want to sign the 6. At times we've been so close, but yet so far, you know. We got excited about Zubimendi. We got excited about Bellingham. We got excited about, you know, we got excited about Caicedo last year and all these things. And I think the one thing that we haven't learned from it, and I see it with the content creators as well, and no disrespect to them, they all put out great stuff. I watch all their stuff all the time, and it's fantastic. But we don't keep our powder dry, sure we don't, and we don't keep our bum inside and stuff like that. No, we show ourselves too early. We ratchet up the expectation. I called this 2 or 3 days ago when this player was having a think about things. I turned around and said, if he's having to think about things, and if he's having to think about that with such a fabulous package and everything presented, Real Sociedad quids in on the money and getting the opportunity to come and play for Liverpool, which, let's be honest here, is European royalty as well. Don't get it twisted. I know other clubs can come on and rivals can talk and laugh and joke and stuff like that, but Liverpool is European royalty, no doubt about it. And he's having to think about it. So if he's having to think about it, he's unsure, and if he's unsure, it's probably not going to happen. And that's the way I felt about it. Go check our tweets, go check our social media. I said it 2 or 3 days ago, this guy ain't coming. This guy ain't coming if he's having to think about it. And that's the sad thing about it. And it was a massive opportunity for that guy. And you know, a certain amount of respect to him as well for making such a big decision as well. You know, I mean, obviously if we were given the green light to say that he was open to the move, and then he kind of led us down the garden path, in some respects maybe did he use us to get a better deal out of Sociedad? I'm not too sure. You know, you just don't know, you know. But the thing about it is, it's just the difficulty in trying to find players of a certain level and a certain skill set, and where you're in a situation at Liverpool, and we know Arne has come in and we have to support him, and it's a new stage, new period, all this kind of stuff, so we have to give him our full support. We have to try and figure out what way he's going to play and who he likes and who he doesn't like and what formations and all that kind of stuff, and it'll take a bit of getting used to, you know. And it'll feel strange this weekend. It'll feel strange this weekend when we're going playing Ipswich and it's not Jurgen Klopp in the dugout. It's going to feel strange, and that will be an adjustment. And you know, some things he'll get right and some things he'll get wrong, and we'll have to try and balance that out and do the best we can and stuff like that and all, you know. But that doesn't give it a free pass, because there's still a very good squad there. There's still a squad that came very close last season, just had a drop off towards the end of the season. Some of that, I'd say, caught up on them, just carrying the weight of that emotion of Jurgen leaving, obviously injuries, and you know, the youth players coming in and all that kind of stuff, and just not being able to perform because of that, you know, all that weight of expectation and stuff like that. But we were bloody close, you know. And sometimes you hear in the fan base as well, and sometimes you also hear, and like, the fan base is just crazy at the moment. Like you can barely have a conversation, you know. But sometimes you have to take a step back and you have to look at it, you know, and you have to say, right, these are the areas that we need. You know, we know we need something on the left side. We know we need a DM. We know we'd like much better competition for Mo Salah. We know that we have to think about Virgil and Trent and Mo coming into the last years of their contract. There's a lot going on at the moment. But surely Hughes and surely Edwards haven't been just sitting on their hands for that length of time, and that the only deal on the table was a Zubimendi deal. I'm sure they're working on other stuff. And I think if we do go into this season and we don't have signed a couple of players, then a lot of questions would be asked. You know, are we giving Arne the best chance to succeed? You know, and all those kind of things. But like let's not get it twisted here. This is not a rebuild. This is not like, you know, this is not like us reinventing the wheel again. This is not back to 2015. This is like, maybe we need 2, possibly 3 players, and we'll be set for the season, you know. But I think the disappointing thing out of last night was, 1, obviously the reaction is crazy, but 2, I think it's the fact that there wasn't some sort of a backup plan, that like straight away when the deal went down and got rejected, that we pivoted back into, well, in the current squad at the moment we have all these players who can play in the 6. Give me a break. Give me a break. That's not the way to go. It's not the way to go, that if you're trying to bring in a 6, you know, it's kind of being made clear to Endo that he maybe is not the guy. You know, it's been made very clear to Stefan that they were happy to put him out on loan and may still do that. So there's a lot of stuff going on at the moment, and it's just, you know, obviously by not getting the player, that causes a problem. But it's the knock-on effect of that back into the players who were in around occupying that position. And the one thing that we spoke about a lot of is, we do not want to see McAllister in the 6 this season, because he gives up too much of the stuff that he brings to the table. when he's in the six. And I know there's a lot of talk this season about how things are evolving and everyone's getting fancy dandy about how they describe things, and we don't want a destroyer, we want a more forward thinking ball playing number 6 and all. That's kind of like softening the blow, where we actually do want a guy in there who can do that work and stuff like that, So it was a mad reaction and stuff like that. And then you see it gets coupled then again today, the talk that they're still potentially pursuing a loan deal for Stefan, who I think really should be getting a real good run in the team, coming back off that year's injury, but was really good before he went out and all, and has huge potential. I was disappointed. I was happy for the player, obviously Fabio Carvalho as well, getting his move to Brentford. I was happy for the lad that he's going to go playing ball and stuff like that under Thomas Frank. But disappointed in the way it was all, the whole Liverpool thing was handled and stuff like that. We took him out of the clutches of Fulham. We didn't really give him the opportunity that we should have given him and stuff like that, and hence we pulled him off. And I don't know, I'm sure the information will come out about that in weeks and months to come and stuff like that. Maybe that relationship with Klopp just wasn't there, or whatever it was, and then you hear this Luis Diaz stuff today, and that shaking his bum again. I'm really sick of this guy at this stage now, you know what I mean? It's just destabilising things at times, linked apparently with a 70 million move to Man City and stuff like that. And the funny thing about it, where I was shocked when I heard it and stuff like that, I wasn't surprised or upset, and if they want to pay us 70 or 75 mil for Luis Diaz, we'll take that Alvarez money, we'll take it, but we better spend it, and it better be in a time frame where we could do something. So look, there's lots to look forward to, and I said it today, I'm really excited about the season starting. I'm jarring at the whole transfer window. That's why I haven't created a lot of content this summer in relation to Liverpool content, because it's just jarring. You're just linked with everyone, different positions. You're seeing today with that goalkeeper as well. Darren was saying to me earlier, looks like he's been brought in to go out on loan, but obviously is it a contingency plan that's in there? Have we heard word from Alisson that maybe he's going to stay another season, but then that's it? Is Queevy and Kelleher out the door? We don't know. We really don't know what's happening there, but you're kind of pivoting from a 6, and then today you're looking at Diaz potentially going out the door, and you're looking that you're in for a goalkeeper, and you're thinking, we're kind of a little bit all over the place at the moment, aren't we? And then we're already on tender hooks at the moment, because obviously one, the disappointment of how last season panned out. The disappointment obviously of trying to get over Jurgen leaving the building, the apprehension and the anxiety of how Arne Slot's going to get on, and then obviously not renewing these contracts. Obviously Trent being linked with Madrid, the conversation the other day with Van Dijk alluding to the fact that there hadn't been any contract talks, ratchets up the fan base, of course. And then obviously Mo Salah, who's going to be a big one. What happens there? Was he going to leave? Was he going to stay? Is he going to re-sign? Is he going to stick with us, or is he going to move on? Who knows? And are we potentially going to lose these 3 big players, massive players, potentially next season on a free? Are they going to go out in January and a pivotal time in the season, that January period coming out of the Christmas period and stuff like that, where you like to position yourself in a position to make a run at the league or the Champions League, and you want to be in that position so you can springboard into it and stuff like that? Are these players going to be off with their heads turned elsewhere, negotiating with other teams? Real difficult situation to be in then, where we need these players laser focused at that time of year. So there's a lot going on in the fan base that's ratcheting it up and creating this anxiety and stuff like that. So every little single thing that happens is magnified 1,000%. Am I disappointed the kid didn't come? Absolutely. Looking back on it, can I say maybe it might have become a problem? Maybe not. I don't know. Do I believe our club did everything we could? Probably. And we just couldn't convince him, just like any other big club that's gone in for him. And that's just the way it is. But I said it online. I said, give him a deadline till 5 o'clock. If he's not coming, bin him. It's done. You know what I mean? Like, we're Liverpool Football Club. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be going with the begging bowl, begging anyone to join our club with our history and everything else. And that fantastic stadium and the great fan base that we have and all that kind of stuff. Expectations for the season, I'll let you know tomorrow. I'll let you know Thursday night on the show. But I've big expectations for this season. No one's getting a pass. I told this already on podcasts. I ain't giving anyone a pass this season just because we've a new manager in and maybe a little bit of new coaching and all that kind of stuff. No one's getting a pass, and I'm expecting big things from these players this season now. They don't have to worry of carrying the expectation of Jurgen Klopp's leaving. They don't have the Euros. They don't have the Asian Cup. They don't have any of this stuff. So there's no reason to go out there now and let's give it a good go this season. But on the face of it, looking at it, I do get the feeling we're going to be probably maybe 2 or 3 quality players short of where we need to be. And that's, people are going to come at me on this and they're going to say, yeah, that's the same old story. It is the same old story. And there's no doubt about it. And that's where you go with those questions if it doesn't happen. But all the stuff that was online last night, it's just absolute craziness, you know what I mean? It's madness, and the disappointment triggers it. And then of course you get the other fan channels and you get the other rivals now coming on, and they're ratcheting it up and going, oh, we told you so, you're not serious, and all this kind of thing, and you're taking the wave of that. And listen, we take it on the chin. But listen, Ipswich coming up this Saturday, should be pumped for the start of the season. Let's see what happens. There's about 17 days left in the transfer window. Can we get a bit of business done? I think we should, and I think there's still plenty of time to get stuff done. But we've got to get out there and we've got to make it happen. But again, I don't want us pivoting into positions where we buy players that we don't need, that we already have cover. And I don't want to see us just buying players that are like a token gesture to the fan base to just go, there you go. We've seen that with a lot of clubs already, just to quieten down the fan base. Listen, we'll just make a signing, you know what I mean? We've seen it for years. Even Darren was talking to me about United and all. You know, we've seen it with Falcao and Di Maria and players like that, Alexis Sanchez coming in just to keep the fan base stump and get them excited of a signing. I want us to have a plan. I want Arne to have a plan. I want him to understand what he wants to bring in and how he wants to configure the team and how he sees it developing and who are the players that he's seen and all. And you know, you see a lot of the players as well leaving Liverpool at the moment, the younger guys who were fantastic for us last season, did a great job. And you know, they're blackening out their Instagram, they're doing the black and white stuff and all, which means they're out of there, which is really, really disappointing. And of course, we wish them nothing but success in the future. I hope Fabio Carvalho absolutely balls out at Brentford and stuff like that and all. And you know, Bobby Clark and whoever else is going out, McConnell, whichever these players are going out, I do nothing but wish them well. They did fantastic for us last season when called upon. Let's see how that goes. But going in, yes, my worrying concerns at the moment are that left side, I think, needs a bit of attention. I'm not sure about the Costas Robbo kind of thing at the moment. Do we need a left-sided centre-back as well? Let's see what happens. What's going to happen with Joey G? Big fan of Joey G, you know that from looking at my podcasts. I'd be pretty upset if he goes, to be honest. But yeah, that DM is the one, isn't it? That's the one. You know, Zubimendi could have been that guy that comes in like a legend and unlocks everything else and creates that. Remember that Fabinho effect that we had, where it just releases players to go and express themselves and stuff like that. Can we find another one? I hope so. But if we don't, we'll have to go with what we have, won't we, Reds? So as always, look, folks, stay firm. Stay firm. Don't be letting rivals break us down, and try not to get too triggered. I know it's difficult. Keep at it. We're Liverpool Football Club. We should expect more, and it does mean more. So until next time, folks, subscribe to the channel. It's the upper tier. Of course, if you can like on the video, share the content, all that kind of good stuff. And if pro wrestling and football is your thing, especially Liverpool this season as well, you know where to go. We'll be there on the upper tier throughout the week, delivering content. Until next time, folks, have a good evening.